Good evening. Welcome to the Brewery Report on September the 10th, 2025. And as always, I am. Oh, well, before we have updates on Gnarly Cedar. Uh, really good one on Gnarly Cedar, y'all. Brewed Omen, Tailwinds, Boulder Junction, a bunch of other ones. Derriere. Can't forget Derriere. And I'm happily to be joined by my good friend and brewery savant, Joel Geyer of Brewery Travels and published author.
It's been a minute since we did one of these.
Yeah, and Packer and Bucks fan, and
that's
Wisconsin and America beer loving fan, all those things.
I know. Since we did it, I've gone to breweries in Missouri, Kansas, Iowa, Michigan, been to Kansas City, St. Louis, Detroit, been all over the place, Greg. Had some really fabulous beers, as you know, from our group chat. But as always, tonight we are zoning in back again to check in on some of our breweries that we've been following. We have a handful of some pretty cool updates, as well as some that I think are intriguing and some fun kind of, think pieces almost kind of thing going on. Before we jump in, though, you said to shout out, I'm about to crack open from one of, if not my favorite breweries here in Milwaukee.
So, get something good up there because I
got the flagship Saison Bayview from Supermoon, which I simply adore. You know how I feel about Supermoon. I just got a new hat from them, and I've been wearing it all the time. So, So again, and people that don't know, they do a lot of fun things with their saisons, but this one is like their flagship. This is a saison beer. Like there isn't any he's not doing any funky crazy adjuncts and ingredients and whatnot, and different yeasts and everything. This is just a really, really good saison example of a saison, which I think is really smart when you're going in there and people that may not be as familiar to have this being a great example of that style before they kind of dive into the more funky stuff that he does that I do love.
We all do. And by we all, I mean you and me.
Yeah.
And another thing that, Joel, you loved, and you've been very, very, at least talking to me about it, you've been very excited about our first thing to talk about. I got to do it, right?
I think we finally have an opening date for Gnarly Cedar up in Wrightstown. So that those have been following along. They were located in, I'm blanking on the town, but with the winery, and this has been 2 years in the making. Essentially, is my understanding with this. You can see here the Facebook event if you're not wanting to read all those little tiny details. Essentially, the grand opening is this Saturday. It's going to be a big block party with music. It's going on from 12 to 6. There's going to be food from their own kitchen, a food truck, different pop-ups, cookies. They're located right there in downtown Wrightstown, which isn't like a big city, but it's right there on the river, so plenty to do and explore. Like I said, this has been a long time coming for them. They said that this is not just like some soft opening where then they're going to take a break. Like they will be open again Sunday and then starting normal hours on Tuesday. So this is the official kickoff for this brewery that I think adds hopefully a lot to the beer scene there and kind of that stretch between Appleton and Green Bay. As more and more breweries start to kind of fill in there, it's that whole section of the state between Appleton and Green Bay is really starting to become a little bit of a hotbed for our craft breweries, Greg.
Yeah, and I'm going to be going there soon, y'all. I'm going to be going there.
I'm hoping so.
Doing some road tripping. But a couple things jump off. Number one, is this the view from the brewery?
I don't know.
We know it's right on the river there.
It's on the river. I can try to go use Google Earth to figure it out, but I guess we'll have to. If any of our followers are able to go there, you can send us a picture of it. Otherwise, I may try I may try. I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping to get up there soon. We'll just leave it at that.
Well,
Because this is one of
and
the breweries I have never been there, never had their beer. So this would be one of the new Wisconsin breweries for me.
well, and yeah, and my overall point is whether that's a picture of it, whether it's or not, it's going to be nice there because it's right on the river. So it's going to be a wonderful outdoor spot.
You know me, I love the water views. Love the water views.
Yeah.
They're my favorite, I think, and it seems like that space is going to be a really pretty space. I think it's got a chance to be a winner there, Greg.
I'm not familiar with Wrightstown, but I'm hoping it's on Main Street.
Yes, it is right there on like the main. It's right there downtown. It looks like as much of downtown as what you can get in the small town, but yeah, looks like it's on the main drag along the river. So
because you know what I think about Main Street breweries. So
yeah, I mean, I think it seems like it makes the comment in the post that check out the new digs in Wrightstown downtown. So you know they're saying, you know, come walk around and check out the whole little town there, because you may get some folks to come to the brewery that maybe hadn't been to Wrightstown before because there hadn't been a reason. That's one of the joys of these breweries popping up in these small communities, is that it gets people like me and you to go and explore the communities that we otherwise would probably never go to for any other reason.
Yep. So before we move on, let me get to the details here. I don't know if I can see them, so let's pull this up.
Yeah, I kind of covered that. Yeah, that's mostly what I just discussed, but
okay. Yep, okay. Yep, you got it. All right, y'all. Saturday.
Wet Possum is one of the bands.
What was that?
I said Wet Possum is one of the bands. I just saw that. I need to shout that out, I think.
I'm gonna leave that for you. But yeah, it looks like 12. Looks like starting at 12. Oh, the block party music starts at 12.
Yeah.
I think it's 11 it starts, y'all. Okay. Check the Facebook for details, y'all. But we're excited about this one. And if y'all, again, any on the ground, we would love any on the ground reports, and we will report when we get there. So yeah. All right, Joe.
Can I just say one more thing on here? On the Facebook group, on the Facebook post for this event that I have pulled up, there's a bunch of people that are going, but there was 1.2, so 1,200 people responded as interested. Like, even if they're not all going, that's still a lot of folks that are tuning into this.
That's a lot of folks.
So that's pretty exciting for them.
Yeah, for sure.
So next up, we do have one bit of sad news. This announcement was made a few weeks back here. Riverside Brewing Restaurant in West Bend is going to be closing down. I forget, they have been there a long time. This was one. It's unfortunate that West Bend has now lost both their breweries here in a span of a year, with 1840's location also closing. I was only here at Riverside once. It's a neat location there in West Bend along the river. Another space that you talk about having a good outdoor space and good atmosphere. So yeah, they have already officially closed. Apparently, Google doesn't show that, but according to the post, the end of August was the last days for them. So yes, another unfortunate. We are always sad to see a brewery close, especially in a community that, you know, went from 2 breweries to 0 in a very short matter of time.
Yep. No, that's not what I'm looking for, Google. All right. I was trying to find when they opened. I thought they were around for 10 years. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
something like that.
They've been around at least a decade.
They've been around for a bit. Yeah. So, and then did I just hear you say West Bend lost 2 breweries, so now they have none?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because Riverside was the only one, and then when 1840 opened up, they had 2 for that year and change. And they now have 0, unfortunately. So we're unfortunately had to add them.
Well, and really quick though, bro, figure the Lombardi. So much for the the market saturation conversation that kind of always happens with breweries, because when we hear a brewery pop up, well, don't we have enough of them? Well, apparently some places yes, and apparently some places no. And then we have Fond du Lac not having a brewery forever, now having one, and we've had West Bend who've had a brewery forever, and now they had 2, and now they don't have any. So this is it's ebb and flow, y'all. It's you got to support your local breweries, of course, but whatever. I'll digress on that. We can get them Lombardi.
Yeah, well, I mean, and when I talked about intriguing breweries, Greg, I mean, this is one that I feel like we could dive into a little bit, but
Yeah,
we've talked a lot about because obviously on the very surface level, my affinity for everything Green Bay Packers was initially what caught my eye, but the whole situation of this brewery opening, the rollout, them stepping into the location at City Lights, the communication, I feel like on social media, it's all been just I don't know how to exactly describe it. Um, we recently saw this post of beer menus, and I know for a fact there's at least a couple of those beers that they have brewed before, and then there was a total of 8 different beers. And when I sent them to you, we were like kind of intrigued because it's a couple Czech lagers on there. It's just kind of some beers that we were like, oh, that sounds pretty good. And then on the comments though later on, I didn't even notice this until more recently. They responded to someone like saying that they were looking forward to trying 2 specific beers there. I think it's Irish Stout and Oktoberfest. And said, "Well, we're just testing the menu board. Not sure if those beers will be serving or if they're even going to be the names." So it's just an interesting approach to marketing yourself. And they've been kind of teasing the opening date because I think there was a post about 5 days ago. Yeah, 5 days ago that said, we should have a opening date announcement soon. It's just been kind of a choppy rollout. I feel like it has not been as smooth of a marketing rollout in terms of promoting the brewery as what it could be. But like we've talked about, I feel that the potential is there. The branding, the location, just if the beer is good, like we'll see what all happens with it. I feel like this is one that's just all of a sudden going to pop up and be open. That will be sharing their post when it happens. But yeah, just a very intriguing one to follow because our sources that we have haven't been able to really get any other info out of them either. They had since that initial run of kind of press coverage when they did their announcement, there hasn't really been any other coverage besides their occasional like Instagram stories. So I don't know what your thoughts are. Someone from Milwaukee, I'm a little more zoned in on it, but just from abroad, I just feel like it's a intriguing and interesting brewery in the works here.
We could talk seriously 20 minutes on Lombardi and just the different aspects of it. Obviously, Joe talked about the the whole football tie-in. This is fascinating. Also, people on the streets are saying, Joel, that sign, the City Light sign, is still there.
Yes,
So,
it definitely is.
I don't know if that has to change before they get it. I don't know.
Maybe, but I mean that you want to talk about an expensive probably project.
Yeah, but that location. Yeah, that location is really key to this one. It's just such a historic, even just recently historic with City Lights and all that brewing. And it probably goes back. That building just feels old. There's history there for sure. It's just a really interesting spot. It's a destination spot. It's not really necessarily. It's definitely not a Main Street brewery spot, from what I know. So it's just really interesting, Joe. And then again, the way they've embraced or not embraced the media with that, with their initial launch. And then I feel that they're almost, my opinion only, y'all, I feel that they're a little apprehensive to, speak to any of us media people because behind the scenes, we've talked to some of our media people that y'all probably know, but we're not going to mention their names. And they say they're not getting anything out of Lombardi recently either. So they're kind of tight-lipped, and that's fine. But and y'all just saying, man, y'all gonna release a menu board in Wisconsin. We're all gonna jump on it. So it seemed like they had to go in the comments, Joel, and kind of further explain themselves here a little bit. Like, hey, y'all,
it's still a mystery.
No, it is. But hey, y'all, that may not be it, but it may be it. So like that idea is just like, I'm sure that scarcity is, fueling more beer geeks than just you and I. So this is going to be fun. I think it's going to be the fall. That's just my prediction. We don't have really anything else. I think they're teasing it. They're probably further away than I want to say they are, or that I want it to be, because I want it to be next week, to be honest with you. I want it to be like early in the football year. I want them to kind of get this buzz before the Packers blow up their season. Sorry, I didn't say that.
No, it's ridiculous. Because it's funny because it's not true. That's why you're laughing about it. So
Well, I don't know.
I'm not going to say anything
about.
about a certain team from Cleveland if that's what we're going to start
No,
comparing.
we're not talking about them. We're not talking about a Cleveland Browns brewery. We're talking about the Packers. So I'm just saying. Anyway, Joel, anything else about Lombardi coming out of here? But no. But seriously though, it would be cool. Again, obviously, football. Packers. It would be cool for that excitement to be happening within this, and that they could use that as the opening.
Yeah.
So I really hope it happens in the season for them and for the community and for you Packer fans.
I think we're close. My gut says we're close, but just know we'll update folks because I'm sure it'll be announced via an Instagram post, maybe a Facebook post, and then we'll just share it and go from there. And I will have boots on the ground pretty rapidly, I would imagine. Once this place opens. If I'm not there for opening day, I would guess it would be pretty shortly after. So,
all right, what's going on next?
So next we have another fun update. Maybe blow up that.
We'll do this. We'll do this.
So Tailwinds is inching closer. I'm excited. This is one that we've kind of covered a decent amount here. As they continue to work towards their opening in Union Grove. This was one of the ones that was a full new build. They recently shared some posts about merchandise, and then their longer post there that you can see on the left-hand side was kind of an explanation for people for more of a behind-the-scenes look at the process of some of these steps that you have to go through when opening a brewery. Because this long post was essentially talking about commissioning the equipment and making sure having someone come in to make sure all like the automation, all the mechanics of the brewing system all function. It's like a full day thing, I guess. So they were just kind of giving more background, being like, hey, like we're not just sitting around, twiddling our thumbs. Like there is a lot of these like these things that have to get done before we start brewing and before we can open. So yeah, I think they are making good progress. I think we can be optimistic about hopefully sometime this fall, maybe later fall, we'll see. But I would imagine that this is another one that we will be able to add to our list of 2025 openings here before the end of the year, Greg.
Yeah, and it's Tailwinds. Are they talking about a dedicated kitchen or not, Joel?
Yes, I believe it's Brewpo. Yes, I believe they will have their own kitchen. Yes.
Okay. As opposed to food trucks and pop-ups and stuff like that. Okay.
Yes, I believe that they are. They do have a food. They have a full tab on their website for a food menu, but it just has not been updated yet. So.
Yeah, and I don't know. Word on the street, y'all, is that again, just word on the street, no confirmation, and just telling y'all what we hear. But one of the things we hear is that Boulder Junction and Tailwinds are kind of close to where they are in development and as far as opening. And they're also, which I find very interesting and intriguing and awesome, is that I hear that they're in contact with each other. So they are working through these kind of things together. Maybe it's really interesting.
They're both
also, Joel. Yeah, and also, Joel, of course, the idea of a collab between two of the brewers that are furthest away from each other. I don't even know if that could happen. But if you Boulder Junction folks or Tailwind people are listening, we like to suggest collabs. We love them.
What's halfway?
That would be amazing. Yeah. Hey, how about y'all meet
at
Vault?
Google Maps.
Or y'all meet at Vault and then do like a three-way collab.
The newbie.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Class of 25. Anyway, we're obviously you can see we're enthusiastic about Tailwinds.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and throw Fond du Lac in there too. Make it a four-way collab. Maybe
there we go.
And speaking of, here is our Boulder Junction update. They got some signage up, Greg. They got signage up. So more progress there. Looks really good. Again, as I just mentioned, this as similar as what's going on in Union Grove. It's a new build there in Boulder Junction. It does. I am very excited to see the finished product. I wish it was closer and easier to get up to there. I know you are planning on hopefully getting up there at some point. so that we have, somebody's able to have some firsthand experience up there. But yeah, and don't forget, folks, if you wanted to learn more, we do have a podcast with the owners there. So go and check that out if you're wanting more information on Boulder Junction.
It's a great one. And this brewery is literally forcing me to the Northwoods. Not even a joke. Just the anticipation of it. We've been talking about this since Badger Beer Hour, which seems, hey, Badger Beer Hour's only been sleeping for not even a year yet. It seems like 5 years, the way the world's been. But that a big aside. Boulder Junction is coming, y'all. And we're hearing things in the background that, this is really, we're on the back end of, we're on the back side of the mountain, if that makes sense. Yeah, we're coming down the hill here. It feels like it's accelerating. So when we know, we'll let you know. And I'm going to be on the ground there, like Joel said, hopefully pretty soon, if not then. I'm just waiting in anticipation too. So
yeah, you got to have a date before we know.
Yeah. And of course, going, 4 hours, 3 hours north is always an adventure for us city people to get to the country. Anyway, Joe, anything else on Boulder? Oh, no. Oh,
no. Yeah. I didn't have anything else on Boulder, but
this is another great one.
We want to talk about, we got Lombardi knocking on the door here in Milwaukee. Well, Mobcraft is the same way. We are on the doorsteps, essentially, it sounds like, of Mobcraft returning. It sounds like it's been kind of, things in the background, different paperwork things, of course, as you can imagine, getting things to get across the finish line. One note that should be made is when they initially reopen, they said that it sounds like they will be serving other local Wisconsin craft beer. And they will then work in their own beers as they continue to kind of get the production ramped up. So just be aware of that if you do see the opening date and you want to go right away, that there may not be any of their own beer right at first, or if there is, it will be, a little more limited tap menu compared to what the guests will be. But I would imagine eventually we will get to the point of maybe not what it was before, but I would guess that they will have. Mobcraft was kind of known for, kind of running the gauntlet on stuff in terms of having a very long and large tap list of a diverse styles. And I would think that would, return down the road.
Yeah, Joel, do we know who the brewer is?
I do not.
I'm wondering if it's the, same one that we had. That will be ideal, I would think.
Yeah. No, I don't believe that was
did so many weird things.
Yeah, and I don't think.
Well, if my prediction of Joel was that they're going to open tomorrow because we had a brewery report tonight. So they'll probably. We're actually feeling that they may open up by the next time we have one, y'all. Yeah. So we'll keep you updated, and then I'm going to dig into. I'm going to dig in a little bit to see who the brewer is because we're really close, and that's always important, Joel, as you know, because the brewer dictates the quality of the beer. Period.
Yeah,
that's it. So we're not even going to have that discussion. So I'm done discussing Mobcraft. Yeah. Oh, another one I'm excited about.
This was one. Yeah, we've been following this one, Greg. Brewed Omen. They're in Hartford. They've got some more. They have been a brewery that has been pretty fun to follow. With their whole process, I think it's taken longer than what they initially thought. Unfortunately for them and for us, but they have been. They've done some really cool posts sharing some of their progress, and doing some descriptions, like talking about, like, here they're talking about the main burner here, and that it's been a thorn in their side, and that's what's been trying to get fixed up. And then they acquired a bunch of empty barrels from Pilot Project that were stamped by the Boston Brewing Company. Just some cool little tidbits of information coming out of there. This is one that I will be at once it's open pretty rapidly. So yeah, we're just waiting. And again, this is one that's been intriguing. If this is your first time tuning in, Brewed Omen, the beer bar, the craft beer bar for several years is, adding the brewery there in the basement to brew their own beer, and seeing how that's going to function and mix in is going to be really, really interesting to see.
Which has always been the plan, y'all. Brewed Omen started as a beer bar, but they've always wanted to be a brewery, and now they're finally getting all that together after 2 years of planning and strategic things. they've been kind of silent, Joel, on social media recently. And that, y'all, just so y'all know, if y'all interested in Brewed Omen, you're close, or you're interested, y'all, that little snippet there came from the newsletter. So sign up to the Brewed Omen newsletter. You're going to get things through that newsletter that they're not even putting out on social media, because I'm pretty sure I didn't see any of this stuff in the social media. I did see it on there. So they're giving you some Easter eggs in their and it's free to get the newsletter, and we all get all newsletters. So I would highly suggest, if you're anywhere near Brewed Omen or interested, get to their newsletter, because they're giving us some tidbits on that. So that's my little thing on Brewed Omen. And yeah, we're all over this one, y'all. Anytime we talk to Kyle too. I wouldn't say on a regular basis, but we talk to Kyle here and there. So if Kyle, when Kyle's ready, he's gonna scream about it, and we're gonna scream about it. So that's in the pipeline, Joe. Can't wait for that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It seems like it's a really neat location there downtown, kind of on the little creek there. So that is when we're on the. This is your backyard, Greg, with the background. So do you want to give the little update here?
Yeah. So this is Youngblood's new DeForest brewery, and in fact I drove by today, and y'all could see, obviously this was literally bare bones, and this is how, like, I drive by this like three times a week or something like that, so I'm always looking. So when they actually did something, I was great. But I drove by today. I wasn't able to stop and snap a picture. It was a busy day, but the front of it looks like the back of it here, Joel. So like they almost have the whole wood up, obviously with the winter coming. Yeah, and with the winter coming, you got to make sure you get it. You know what I mean? It looks like they're really pushing to get it, covered and, everything, so they can at least start working on the inside. I don't know, early next year for this. And, we're close to all the guys at Youngblood, so we will have an update, but it's exciting to see this going. And this is a longer term one. What you got for Youngblood, Joe?
Well, I was going to say, this is, like we talked, this is a thriving, growing community in DeForest that, has had a lot of expansion there. When you drive along the freeway and you've seen them add in the huge sports complex and the big golf, it's not Top Golf, but it's something similar. And they've got these big developments going in, which this is part of. So it's very exciting for this community to be getting a brewery, especially kind of, an established brewery that we know is making some quality beer. So I am hoping that they have a lot of success once this does open.
Yeah. Yep. And this will be their main facility, I'm told, to brew beer, because they're actually renting the space now to brew beer, for that. So they want to have it in their own house, and they're going to have that, and it's going to be fun, great. And maybe we can get some consistent house beers out of Youngblood then. You listening, Kyle and Billy? I don't care about that, but I know some people do.
Yeah.
Anyway, some people are caring about this too, Joel, but this is an interesting one.
Yeah, this is one of the other ones that, when we were kind of hinting at the beginning, kind of intriguing. So Littleport, for those that may not know, the Stillwater, Minnesota brewery, hence the logo here that has the stars in Minnesota and Wisconsin, opened up a location across the river in Hudson, in Wisconsin, which is why we're covering, of course, because it is now partially a Wisconsin brewery. They had more announcements about advancing their big $16 million brewery plan after a 2-year delay. There's other rumors flying around about what's going on with this. We can't.
Or not going on?
Yeah, there's just some. Yeah, this is a story that we kind of are going to have in the back burner. Like, we're going to keep an eye on this, because we're not based off of what we've been hearing, we're not entirely sure what's going on here. It's saying set to open late next year. We'll see. Like I said, we'll put the Liftbridge logo and the things to watch for a little while. Slide at the back of the show. But yeah, there's not a whole lot else that we can talk about with this besides just, kind of the chit chat behind the scenes, Greg.
Yeah. I don't know. We're hearing some things that we're not going to repeat on air, but one thing we can repeat on
it. We're keeping our eye on it. We're keeping our eye on it, Greg. That's
one thing we can talk about is that, like, it's weird when, not weird, but it's always interesting when The only news about something is behind a paywall. And this happens to be behind a paywall. Joel and I, and a couple other people we've asked around. We can't get any more information about this one. Maybe the remoteness of it is playing into that. But also, though, I don't know what's going on. It's playing into it. This has been going on for 2 years at least, and I don't know, Joel. As we've been learning, 2 years really isn't that long sometimes for a brewery to be in development, as tailwinds, as
it's different though when you're starting everything from scratch versus being an established brewery that already has locations in 2 states. I feel like. So
okay,
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
I'm just saying. Yeah. Sometimes these things take longer. I mean, we got to.
They do.
What is it? We have Fox Town, right?
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, that is.
Yeah. So sometimes we have these.
Yeah.
And cities get involved and people's egos get involved. See the yards. Isn't it Yards Brewing up in Encanto? And what I mean? So like,
I said we're
so who knows, y'all?
on it, Greg.
Who knows? We're gonna keep our eyes on it, but $16 million, y'all, is a lot of money to be thrown around at a brewery at this time and age. At right now, that's a lot of money to be spending on a brewery. So hopefully it all goes through. We're rooting for it. Obviously, we want the jobs, we want the entertainment, we want the community, we want all that stuff. So shout out to Littleport. And I don't know. Any of y'all watching and y'all want to clear this up, you can clear this up at Badger Beer Report at gmail.com, or you can, there's many ways to get in contact with us. So we would love to just clear it up, but if y'all, if we can't, we can't.
Yeah. Well, what I was gonna say, you're talking about $16 million. I know we're about to touch on a certain other expansion. 16 million, that's like a third of what New Glarus is spending on their expansion. Like, New Glarus is one of the top 15 largest craft breweries in the country. Mm-hmm. And I mean, for them to do this expand, this is for a brewery of Littleport's size. This is a major, assuming that this is all happening, this is a major expansion. That is a lot of money.
Oh yeah, Joe. I put this one in. I don't know if you want to. Yeah, I can just jump in real quick.
Yeah.
I believe we talked about. We've talked about Bull Falls extensively. If you are regular listeners, and they took over the old Bull Falls Brewing. And now it was called Bull Falls. What? It was a different name, wasn't it, or was it the same name?
Nope, same name. Just a different logo. They changed the logo and branding.
Okay. Well, they opened up their anticipated their beer garden. The inside's still not open up fully where we're used to when if y'all remember old Bull Falls, there was like a, I don't even think there was a beer garden at the old Beer Falls. No. I think it was just an inside tap room. Weird. Well, the inside tap room has not been open yet, but they have they opened up a beer garden, they developed that, and now they just developed this little, it seems, I won't say little, but this room right off the beer garden where they can come in, and they had the Packers this week. And so when it gets a little bit colder up there, which is probably starting to get a little bit chill, and they probably have those heaters, Joel, you know what I mean? But this really is a nice little addition is what I wanted to point out, that like, don't just think when you think about Bull Falls, don't just think, oh, well, it's not nice out, I can't go get a beer there. You can go get a beer there because they have this little nice inside space now, but it's not the tap room, guys. They're still working on the tap room. But I wanted to put that out there. Yeah, I wanted to put that out there in the fall, just for people to be, because I get even a little itchy about, Joel gets itchy all the time about beer gardens, but we won't get into that now. But I get a little itchy about beer gardens in the fall because it gets cold, and it's cool to have like a fireplace and all that. But that being said, I'm just saying, they're kind of extending their summer, Joel, for lack of a better word, if that makes sense. And this looks like a really nice place. So Bull Falls is still developing, y'all, and it's open, but I still feel that we have room to grow there, and it's going to be bigger. And Joel and I haven't been there. I'm going to try to hit it on my road trip, but their hours are weird because they're just doing the beer garden. But anyway, Joel, what do you got about Bull Falls? It seems like there's a lot going on here.
No, this was a really good update because, again, like you said, we covered the outdoor section opening up, but as Wisconsinites know, we're probably about a month out here from it starting to really get kind of chillier out, where it's still good beer garden weather, but eventually later this year it will not be. And so it is nice to see that they are continuing to work on that inside area. As we kind of covered in the show, the old Bull Falls tap room was kind of odd. Like, the vibe was just kind of not there. So I'm really intrigued and kind of optimistic about seeing what they do to change kind of the whole interior experience there, because it seems like they have, based off of what they have already done, they definitely have some pretty, fresh and new ideas for that facility and the layout and how it is going to be set up for visitors.
Amen. Yeah. And Joel, this is one little production out in front of y'all. This is one we need to talk to them soon.
Yes.
I don't think one of us is either like say, hey, we're gonna do it, but we need to talk to them soon. And here's another intriguing and interesting one.
Yeah.
Good luck with this one, Joel.
Yeah. Well, so this is one of the ones that we did kind of cover this a little bit. When this announcement was, because initially we were under the impression that Round Man had closed, and then it kind of came out like, no, it's not closed. It's like it's still opening, and it's just closing the tap room, but it's brewing and serving at the smokehouse, and just not super crystal clear. And so I appreciate Round Man. They did do a fairly recently kind of a post and entitled it in all capital letters, Round Man clears the air. So they've heard that people have been kind of confused about what is happening.
Right.
And so they kind of, the bullet points, the brewery has not been sold. They're not closing. They're still looking for the right owner for their new downtown space. It says we still like you, which is really good to hear. I appreciate when they still like us. The brewery is still crafting their beers over at the Strongman Smokehouse, still serving the beer, selling the building. But so that brewery is still kicking and producing beer for the locals. They just now are serving it at that Strongman Smokehouse location. And we'll see this. This seems like one that the story is still developing a bit, that, may have more updates for us in the future as it pertains to us, but we'll kind of wait and see.
Yeah. So one of the people that is bugging Round Man is us, because we reached out to them.
Yeah.
But hey, y'all always have the opportunity to come on and just clear it up. But clearly, people were having questions. But again, it's understandable. I don't think it's really anything on either the people who didn't understand or Round Man. It's just an interesting thing, because when you hear we're selling the building in our brewery, to a lot of people, those connections are, well, you're closing your brewery, because how are you selling the building that the brewery's in? So that kind of transaction's always going to have some explanation and clear and cut, and you might have to do it 2 or 3 times, because some people might catch it in passing, some people may not understand it. So it's just a difficult message, actually, is what it is. Yeah, actually, it is more than anything. I don't think it's yeah. And sometimes communication, y'all, Joel and I are friends. We're good friends, but we sometimes miscommunicate. Sometimes Joel's like, "Oh shit, I didn't get you that file," and I'm like, "Oh shit, you told me about that file." Excuse my language. Like 3 weeks ago, and now I just figured out that you. What? So communication is human. Man, y'all, I know Joe's too young, but y'all don't remember Three's Company? Come on, like, no, I'm joking. But this is just like miscommunication, Joel. I just feel it's just like misconnections. Yeah, and I think that. And I think Round Man's like, yo, we still got our beer, we're still smoking our food. Let's go, come over here. We're doing, we're working on this. This is going to be weird. It's weird for everybody. So that's kind of like, I think that's what I got out of the post. So good luck to everybody at Round Man. Hopefully, apparently that building is nice or something, Joel, where it's an asset in itself and they own it. So these business deals, Joel. Wow, they're wild sometimes. You already know. I'm good on Round Man. We'll have something up for you. We'll have something for Round Man, y'all, because we still got developments, and we also will have developments with this brewery.
Dairy Air. This is one that we have followed. I feel pretty closely. They're opening up in Seymour. This is one that thought that they initially had announced. I forget what the actual date was that they were announcing. Was it in August? They initially were. I think they were hoping to open up here late summer, early fall, and that has unfortunately not happened. I know this, obviously paperwork stuff. There's always all that kind of stuff going on. But they do have power now, apparently. So he has posted a couple videos here recently, the owner, to kind of provide some updates to people. They had their, I think we covered and talked about, they had like their founders meetings that you could go and become one of the founding, mug club kind of members and stuff for support. And yeah, so they have power, which is a good thing. You need power for the brewery. So that is a step in the right direction. I would guess that next time we talk, we may have another update on them as we kind of, similar to Boulder Junction, inching towards that finish line. I feel like in general, breweries, they have these goals that we talk about and that we have hopes for. And I feel like less than 10% of the time we actually get there on time, because it's not just with breweries. Anytime you're building out a business, like it rarely hits the timeline that you were initially hoping for and anticipating.
Yep. And as you already know, Joel, there's timelines and there's money and there's leases.
Yep.
There's all kinds of money forces that are literally forcing things going on. A couple of things about their area. Number one, Seymour, Wisconsin, y'all. It's about 30 minutes west of Green Bay, for those who don't know. So it's in a relatively, really still, as Joel mentioned about 20 minutes ago, a thriving area in our Wisconsin brewery scene is the Green Bay, Door County, Appleton. You probably need to go down to Oshkosh and Fond du Lac, because there's just so much going on in that little corridor there. And Derriere is trying to jump into this. Another thing to note about Derriere is it's going to be one of our smaller breweries for sure. Mm-hmm. And this man right here, I forget his name. I'm sorry, I don't want to forget his name, but I do. Joel, this seems like almost a one-man show as far as developing. Like, obviously, he's going to have to buy, get a brewer and all that, but it seems like he's the brewer. It seems like he's developing, like, the
Tad
place
Edges.
out, doing the physical work. What's that?
Tad Edges, that's his name.
Okay, cool. But, Tad's doing, from what I feel from following this and his updates,
he's the only person we've
all
seen.
The work.
He's been the only person.
Yeah. And shout out to the people who are also helping him. Don't get me wrong. I don't want, we don't want to do that. But at the same time, it just seems like this is one of those, just like a guy just
is passionate about his beer.
Yeah. I mean, like, so, for example, y'all, just as a transposition, we have Boulder Junction, which we talked to Ian and Tracy, and they're a couple, and we know that they, they're doing this together. You got the brewer and he's got, so there's a couple there, there's a team there. We got Tailwinds, which we know there's a team there. And so Derriere seems to be like there's a team, but it seems like this guy's the front guy, and it seems like he's leaning on this community. So we're gonna see, man. This is gonna be interesting. I don't know about personally, because then Joel and I talk about all this, so we get to project and read the tea leaves on some of these breweries. I don't know if I see Derriere before this year, man. I just don't. I'm wishing the best for him, because again, winter's hard. So start opening up in the winter is not ideal, especially up north, I don't think. So yeah, there's a lot of things going on here, but we wish them well, and I think we're gonna. I don't know. We got power. So hopefully, and I don't know, space is going on too.
It may be possible still, Greg.
It may be possible. Right. I'm probably being pessimistic
before the end of the year.
Yeah, I'll be the
optimist then. I'll be the optimist, because like I said, I'm the optimist in a lot of things, and it'll bite me in the butt. But I'll be the optimist and say that I think we're close. That we're going to get across that finish line before the end of the year. But we will see.
That's cool. He's going to announce he's opening on Monday. Watch.
Yeah, he's going to tag you in it.
You should tag me either way, because I'll be happy and I can tell everybody about it. But speaking of, so I just threw this one in because this is literally one of our biggest and broad, like,
it is the biggest,
wildest builds, but it's going to be a slow, kind of like methodical thing. So we're not going to always talk about it, but also it's always nice for us to talk about New Glarus. I'm just going to talk about New Glarus when I get an opportunity, Joel. Sorry, even if it's not something that is big. But go on, Joel. Where are you at with one of our favorite breweries ever, let alone in Wisconsin?
It's very possible that people, not 100% of the people in here have probably not necessarily listened to us every single time. So if there's any new people, New Glarus has like a $50 million expansion going on, adding the distillery, completely adding the tap room, just completely rejuvenating and changing the whole visitor experience. at the already incredible New Glarus Brewing there in New Glarus. So I am just, we've already gushed over how excited we are about this, Greg. And it's really cool to see the progress.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the ones that is going to take a while, but it's going to be here all of a sudden before we know it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going to be stunning.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said it already on the show once. I think this is going to become, the Sierra Nevada and outside of Asheville has kind of been, the number one, that there's a couple other like a treehouse, like a destination brewery. I think this expansion, New Glarus is going to be up there as one of the top destination brewery. It already is. And this may make it arguably the number one destination brewery in the country, to be perfectly blunt.
If it's anything like that brewery that you just mentioned, I don't even know if I'll be able to handle it.
I think it's going to be even better than that potentially. I mean, and the thing is that unlike Sierra Nevada, you can't get their beer all over the country. I think that's one of the big differences too, is that Sierra Nevada, like people can still experience their beer pretty much everywhere. And so it's a very different type of experience because people make the pilgrimage to Wisconsin specifically for this brewery. And so I think that adds to the whole experience and kind of, aura to this beautiful place. And yeah, I just, like I said, I will be, when we get to announce that it's officially going to be opening, Greg, we'll have a whole 20-minute segment that we can dedicate to gushing over New Glarus.
Yeah, we might take a whole damn hour.
We just, maybe we need to meet there and do like a live show from there once it does open.
Yes. Amen.
So,
all right. Go. Yeah, you want to talk about this. You want to talk about August. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been covering, trying to cover to the best of our ability, brewery anniversaries / birthdays here in the state of Wisconsin. I did my best with the research. I am sorry if I missed anyone or have someone wrong. I promise I tried very hard. So these are listed here for each month. The ones that I could find a specific date, you can see there, such as 608 opening on the 10th, Oliphant on the 28th, etc., etc. But otherwise, these are in chronological order by year, so you can see the oldest with the newest. And August does have one of the Wisconsin OGs that celebrated their anniversary very recently. I know that we talked about that on Badger Beer Report at different points. Sprecher turned 40. Turned 40, Greg. So none of the other breweries here, the oldest other one was turning 12. But so, tip of the hat to Sprecher, just consistently producing their beers and sodas and, the experience there with their, what they call their indoor beer garden. But yeah, our friends at Gathering Place are now turning 8. You see some other names that I think people may recognize, like a 608. I mentioned Oliphant, Wisconsin Brewing, Pet Skull up in Manitowoc, Black Husky here in Milwaukee, as well as some of the new ones, such as, Pals is now a year old. The brewery from Nebraska that opened up in the Dells, as well as Eagle Park opening up the Milwaukee Brewing Tap Room. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff. And I know we also, because we didn't have a show, we forgot to do it last month. So now I don't know if you want to talk a little bit here about the September breweries, because we have some older breweries here as well here this month.
Yeah, shout out to shout out to all of them. Again, it's not easy being a brewery for sure. Shout out to all of them. But some of my ones that are notable here, we should shout out Lazy Monk for 15 years. And that is our co-host and family, Landon, works there. Octopi is Saturday, y'all. It's a big 10 years for Octopi. They've gone from a small little brewery to being owned by a conglomerate, so that's kind of wild. Of course, one of our favorites, Joel, is let me remove us. One of our favorites here is Third Space. I know Joel is fond of Third Space. Shout out to Tumble Rock with one of our female head brewers over there at Tumble Rock, and that's great. Gnarly Cedar. That's interesting that their birthday is this year, or I'm sorry, this month, and their new beginnings is this month too, so that's cool. Lowell Daily is one that I always wanted to get to. Joel says really nice things about that. Shout out to Phil at Hop House Pittsburgh. I know that he's come on this podcast and talked about the difficulties of starting an expansion, like another another location for Hop House, and it's just a really excellent location, but it didn't come without its work, for lack of a better word. So there, and then I don't know, Bodie Howe, I was there last week. I was there in the morning for their birthday party. The party didn't start till later, but I was there in the morning. That's fun. And do you have any comments about any of these here that I mentioned?
The ones that I would say, you mentioned Lode, the other ones that kind of stick out, Public 2012, the one that we covered when Lakefront bought them. So that's an interesting one. Ray's Grain is kind of the OG there in Waukesha. Really good beer there. My love for Third Space, and then Indeed, coming over from the Twin Cities, did a really good job integrating themselves in the Milwaukee community. So I really enjoyed them. And then you see, Explorium opening up their third ward location. You have places like New Barons is great. So so some really nice breweries there celebrating anniversaries either already this month or coming up later this month. So congratulations to all of them. Youngblood is on the things to keep an eye on. We should have removed that, but
we're going to.
Yeah. But anyway, the other breweries that we're kind of keeping our eye on, still Shattered Glass, Dew City, we and then Gravity Box, which I know Gravity Box we've heard maybe coming down the pipeline here pretty soon. We'll see with their expansion to the Dells. Nothing else. We kind of covered it all. And then here's our numbers update. The overall numbers ticked up by 1 because of the numbers we with our one loss, but we did gain a couple. So this is where we currently sit. Still over 200 individual breweries. A nice substantial handful of additional taprooms and locations, as well as some that kind of fall into that other category that we've explained in the past. Is this?
I separated them, Joe.
Okay.
My bad.
No, you're good. So we have 2 different maps now for new breweries. So the first map here, these are the breweries that have officially opened up here in 2025. These are the ones that have crossed that finish line that I added Gnarly Cedar in there because they're literally opening here in 3 days.
That works.
But so these are the breweries that have opened this year, either full new breweries, such as the Fond du Lac or a Vault 202, or, some that have secondary tap rooms, such as a Brewfinity, the Hop Garden, et cetera, et cetera. And then we still have, so this is our map, announcements for the futures, breweries still yet to come. I would imagine looking at this list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I would imagine we still have 7, maybe 7 breweries still before the end of the year, Greg. That is my guess. We're going to have 6 or 7 additional breweries open up before the end of 2025.
3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah, okay, I see 7.
Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe we'll end up with 5 or 6. We'll see. But maybe we'll end up with 5. We'll see. But we do have several here that I think are going to be able to switch over to the other map here pretty soon, which is very exciting. And then we did add Riverside here. This is our map covering the closings of this past year here in 2025. Unfortunately, too many great names, too many breweries have made this map. But that is the life, following a business sector that this kind of stuff happens. But it is unfortunate that this has all happened. But so do you have any?
Hold on. Yep. Stay on the closings, buddy. Wait. We're city services new? No, maybe I'm wrong. Sorry. And then Joe, what are we gonna do with Hop and Barrel?
Yeah, I guess we could. I don't know. We should dig into that a little. I don't know, because they're maybe still brewing. I guess some beer,
but they're not brewing in Wisconsin.
They're not brewing in Wisconsin. There's not going to be a tap room, so I think that they can remain on this list. I am grateful. I guess I'm grateful that Hop and Barrel's beer will still be out and about that you can find, but they are no longer brewing in the state of Wisconsin. No longer have a location in the state of Wisconsin. So for all practical purposes here, their location is closed for what we cover.
Yeah. I still want to. We should still try to talk to them, Joe. I bet you they
Yeah,
will.
we were
Because if we can,
right on the cusp there. That was
we were close. We
an
were close.
unfortunate. Yeah.
Well, and they were all like, "Yo, we'll do an interview," and then like it was a week later, like, we're closing," and I'm like, "Wait, what happened there in that week?" But obviously things happen. I'm not. It was just funny how you did a series of. Well, the series of event. You know how that happens sometimes. It's like, wow, that you know what I mean. So like, no, it's cool. But my point is that they were really open. Knowing what, or at least having a little bit about what was coming. They were open to talking to us. So maybe we can get them on the horn here, Joe, a little bit, and just at least talk to them about what it does because they still will have an imprint on Wisconsin Brew.
Yeah,
so
that's what it sounds like at least.
Yeah. I mean, all of their fans are, and or not all, but a lot of their fans are from Hudson. So like, I would assume that they would still have their community there, and we'll see how they build that out. But yeah, it definitely deserves to be a closing, and my bad for asking. And what do you got for next, Joe?
No, that can kind of wrap things up here for us. I think, Greg, we've got, right. I think there will not be, this was kind of a big gap for the brewery report, but I think we will have, back on a little more regular schedule possibly, because I think we are going to have more news on some of these breweries that we've covered in terms of openings. But yeah.
Yeah, and Joe, also before we go, one thing I wanted to mention to you, we've been doing a lot of production out in front of everybody. I think it's fun. One of the things that maybe we should bring back is the last call, especially if we don't have many brewery reports. It would be fun for us to talk about what we've been kind of getting into as far as the breweries go in Wisconsin, and we could actually get into some of your traveling forays, and so. Maybe we'll introduce the last call here, y'all. A throwback to Badger Beer Hour for those who watch Badger Beer Hour. Our last segment there was called The Last Call, and that's when we talked about things that we were doing in beer and what was coming up on our horizon. Maybe we can bring that a little bit here, especially if I'm assuming, Joel, that when we get into the fall here, there's going to be less opening and closing news, but I don't know though. Joe, I almost got to do that.
I think this fall, yeah. This fall we may have some, but yeah,
we had a lull here at the end of the summer, which I don't think we saw. I mean, that's why y'all didn't see us for a little bit. Also, Joel's been traveling, but really though, it's really not about Joel. It's really more because we could have fit that in. It's just like it kind of dried up at the end. So I'm kind of feeling that may be that way. So we'll still be here to entertain.
Yeah,
all the news because Joel and I never stop. It literally is 24/7. With us in these damn breweries, we're kind of obsessed, but I wouldn't use that word. But Joel, you can lead us out, buddy.
Yeah, well, what I was gonna say, we won't do a full last call, but I will say because you did mention it. Anybody local here, Menominee Falls, I will be at the Menominee Falls downtown, the Depot Beer Gardens Oktoberfest event with my book, doing a Q&A. There's gonna be live music, all sorts of cool stuff. So again, they're gonna have $4 beers. It's gonna be really awesome. You can go to my Instagram page. I've got a post there about it. But yeah,
okay,
yeah.
When's that date, Joel? And what's
September 27th. Yeah, I probably should have lived with that date. Good catch there, Greg. September 27th, 12 to 9:30, and I plan to be there from 1 to 5. So okay. I'm gonna have I will have a long day there. Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
And where is that again?
This is in Menominee Falls, the Old Falls Village Historical Park, the Depot Beer Garden there. So yeah, should be a really fun event. I'm looking forward to this. They actually approached me. This is one of the people that they approached me at Lager and Friends when we were serving our beer there. So, that was a fun little thing.
Look how that happens.
Yeah. But anyways, as always, we will see you guys soon. And whether it is you got one more thing?
I'm sorry. One more thing.
Yeah.
Today just released your latest interview with
Layman Brewing in West Allis. Go and listen to it. Really amazing, friendly, down to earth, just wonderful folks there. Really cool atmosphere that you will hear that we talk about and describe in the podcast. They just celebrated their anniversary with a big fish boil. I highly recommend if you're in the area to check them out, just because it is a very unique atmosphere and space compared to the overall craft beer community here in Wisconsin.
It's unique. I've never been there, but I've heard enough to know it's a unique dive bar experience that we all like it's hard to say all for anything, Joel, but most all Wisconsin beer drinkers love a good dive bar.
Oh.
So it's just ingrained
Home.
in us.
Feels like home.
Yeah. I mean, we love our industrial breweries. Don't get us wrong. We love them. Joel and I mean, come on, this guy, questioning whether this guy likes breweries or not, it's kind of wild. But those homey, cozy places, that's what Layman comes off to me as. And so Joel gets into that with them, y'all. And it just came out this afternoon. So thanks for doing that one, Joel. That was excellent. And yeah. And on that note, I will shut up and let Joel do his outro.
Well, now we'll take two. Whether it is where you are visiting or where you're living, be sure to drink local everywhere. Cheers, everybody.